Hello and welcome to News Round, where we do a recap of stories that made headlines during the week. Coming up, Supreme Court grants LG Financial autonomy, declares it unconstitutional for state governors to hold on to funds meant for local government administrations. And the federal government's optimistic the impasse over the new minimum wage will be resolved next week. The House of Representatives asked federal government to suspend implementation of Samoa agreement until all controversial clauses are addressed and spelled out. Plus, Kyiv Children's Hospital hit by Russian daytime strike. The news round begins at legal matters, where the Supreme Court has ruled that the federal government should henceforth pay allocations directly to local government councils from the Federation account, delivering judgment in a suit instituted by the Attorney General of the Federation. A 7-man panel of justices held that state governments have continued to abuse their powers by retaining and using the funds meant for local government areas. Justice Emmanuel Agim, who read the lead judgment, said states are mandated to ensure that their local government councils are democratically elected.
The long-awaited judgment on who should handle the allocations for local government areas is here, and parties involved in the suit gather at the Supreme Court for the verdict. The suit was instituted by the Attorney General of the Federation in May this year against governors of the 36 states, asking for full autonomy for the country's 774 local governments. In the suit, the Attorney General of the Federation also requested the Supreme Court to authorize the direct transfer of funds from the Federation account to local governments under the Constitution. Delivering judgment, Justice Emmanuel Agim ruled that it is illegal and unconstitutional for governors to continue to receive and seize funds allocated to local governments in their states. The Apex Court held that no state House of Assembly has the power to make laws that could in any manner interfere with monies meant for the local government areas. It further declared as unconstitutional the appointment of caretaker committees by governors who run the affairs of the local governments. It held that the 36 states are under obligation to ensure democratic governance at the third tier of government. The Apex Court also made an order that henceforth no state government should be paid monies standing to the credit of the local government councils. They further ordered immediate enforcement and compliance with these orders by the state governments and successive governments.
First of all, as far as I'm concerned, there's no winner, there's no loser. The Nigerian people will enjoy the benefits of good governance. I think this has been in the clamor for a long time. It's not personal. What is important is that the people will hold chairmen now more accountable because the funds are going directly to them. And I think that it is time for us to move this discussion forward.
The judgment on local government autonomy have just been delivered by the Supreme Court. We will get the certified true copy of the judgment as a body, the body of State Attorneys General of the Federation. We'll study it and then we'll come up with our statement on it.
This judgment brings a drastic change to the Nigeria democratic structure, where local government chairmen now have a say on how funds meant for them can be used. They also have rooms to now develop their areas in terms of education and healthcare. From the Supreme Court of Nigeria, Emanuela Ekele, Channels Television News.
And from legal matters to the issue of new minimum wage, the federal government says the impasse will be resolved by next week. The Ministers of Information and Labour gave this information after a closed-door meeting between President Bola Tinubu and the leaders of organised labour in the State House. Take a listen.
Members of organised labour arriving at the State House for a meeting with President Bola Tinubu on the new minimum wage. This follows the president's decision to have more engagement with stakeholders before a definite decision on the matter. Secretary to the Government of the Federation, some ministers, heads of agencies, and aides to the President are also in attendance. The meeting commences once the President makes his entrance. According to a statement by the Special Advisor on Media to the President, Ajuri Ngilali, the President expressed his concern for the welfare of Nigerian workers, but called for realistic expectations as regards the minimum wage. He said, "I pay attention to everything around me. A happy worker is a productive worker, and society depends on the productivity of the happy worker. You have to cut your coat according to available cloth. Before we can finalize on the minimum wage process, we have to look at the structure. Why must we adjust wages every 5 years? Why not 2? Why not 3 years? What is a problem today can be eased up tomorrow. We can take a surgical approach that is based on pragmatism and a deep understanding of all factors." At the end of the meeting, the Labour delegation speak on the outcome.
As been said, so in the meeting, we try to put issues on the table, issues that are bothering and biting Nigerians today, the economic difficulties and the value of Naira, how it has also eroded, how this has affected the prices of commodities and goods in the market.
In real terms, it wasn't a negotiation, it was a discussion. We have had that discussion, and we agreed. Now, the status quo in terms of the amount, 250 and 62,000, remains until we finish this conversation.
The cabinet ministers speak positively about the meeting.
When father and children talk, you know what it is. That's just exactly what has happened, and it took us almost like an hour. And I believe that it's all for good.
The President is keeping to his promise to consult. He doesn't just want to take a unilateral decision. It's a decision that affects all of us. So he has consulted with the subnationals. Consultation with the organized private sector is ongoing. We have also seen that this consultation with the organized labor has also happened today. They have asked for a week. Like I said earlier, we're going to meet with them again. Hopefully, we'll have something that all of us will agree on.
The nation will be looking forward to next week when these engagements will be concluded and a decision taken. From the presidential villa, Lanre Lasisi, Channels Television News.
And protests rocked university campuses across states in northern Nigeria as non-teaching staff of the universities protest the non-payment of their withheld salaries. The action by members of the Non-Academic Staff Union of Universities and the Senior Staff Association of Universities is in compliance with the directives from the national leadership of the two unions to embark on a one-day nationwide protest.
Another challenge, double challenge.
Members of the Non-Academic Staff Union of Universities, NASU, and the Senior Staff Association of Universities, SANU, march at the University of Abuja main campus to protest the non-payment of their withheld 4-month salaries.
Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever.
The protesters displayed placards with inscriptions demanding the payment of their withheld salaries.
We can no longer accept empty promises. Empty promises does not bring food on our table. Does it bring food to our table? No! Pay us our withheld 4-month salary. We work for it. It is earned. It is not an award. It is what we work for.
The situation is the same in campuses across states in the northern parts of the country. From the Ahmadu Bello University in Zaria to the University of Jos, members of NASU and SANU held protests, making the same demands and calling for the sack of the Ministers of Labour and the Minister of Education.
We call for the immediate removal of the Minister of Education and the State Minister for Labour. We are calling for the government to act as quickly as possible in order to avoid the complete shutdown of the university system if nothing is done.
In March, we gave a warning to government, 1 week warning. And after our warning strike, government called for further dialogue. And as I speak with you, that dialogue did not make hay. And that was why you see us here had gathered again.
Forward ever! Backward never! Forward ever! Backward never!
In Zamfara and Birnin Kebbi, the two unions also protested, asking the federal government to act and prevent a looming industrial action.
We are going around within the campus, although our protest is a peaceful protest. So we go around to the campuses, then we go to the Vice Chancellor, we deliver our message to him so that he can take the message up and tell the federal government this is what is happening. Apart from our protest today, on the 18th of this month, July, we are going to Abuja to make another national protest.
We are doing this protest to show the country and Nigerian federal government that our grievances are yet to be met. The first in our grievances is the withheld 4-month salary 2022 by the previous administration, which we believe government is a continuous process. And with the taking side of paying other sister unions in the university and not paying SANU and NASU, is not a good one to the system.
The protesting university workers are demanding the payment of withheld salaries for 4 months and the renegotiation of the 2009 agreement with the federal government. Meanwhile, the protest did not hold in most states in the northeast, including Borno, Yobe, Gombe, Adamawa, Taraba and Bauchi states. The national leadership of SANU and NASU had last week directed their members across the country to embark on a one-day nationwide protest, which will be followed with an indefinite strike should the government fail to meet their demands.
And staying with the protests in the southern part of the country, members of a non-academic staff union and Senior Staff Association of Nigerian universities have also demonstrated to drive home their demand on better payment and release of arrears payments. According to them, the federal government and concerned parties should act fast.
Members of the Non-Academic Staff Union and Senior Staff Association of Nigerian Universities combed the streets of states across the nation to drive home their demand for the payment of outstanding salaries and wages. From Lagos to other states in the southern region of the country, the call for an increase in their allowances form a significant part of their request. In Imo State, members walk peacefully, chanting solidarity songs, making their demands pronounced with hopes that governments and officials understand their plight and act accordingly.
All we are saying, we are pleading that our withheld 4-month salary should be paid to us, and also pleading to the federal government that 2009 agreement as overdue, that we need that agreement, the committee, to go back and commence their work so that the agreement between SANU, Jack of NASU and NAT should be reviewed so that we know our stand and what we are working with.
Elsewhere in Rivers State, officials of NASU and SANU took their demands to the authority of the state university, where they were briefed by the Deputy Vice Chancellor, Research and Development.
Pay is important. The country is very difficult right now, and we understand your grievances. Unfortunately, we are not in a position to act on your requests. But as your leader pointed out, we will do our best to pass on your message to the authorities in question. That is what we can promise to do.
Forward! Forward!
Members of NASU and SANU of the Federal University of Agriculture, Abeokuta, are not left out as they took time off their duty to stage a protest as directed by their respective national executive organs.
Our members have been pushed to war, and that is why we are coming today to let the populace know that the federal government are deliberately want to kill us. If they are killing us, and we are saying enough is enough.
July 18, we should expect a mega protest. Mega protest only in Abuja, because we are going to picket all the agencies of government that has to do with withholding of these 4 months withheld salaries. We will end it, we will top it at the Aso Rock and the National Assembly.
Coming off the back of a strike in March, which had adverse effect on the education sector and the economy generally, it is believed that preventing these unions from embarking on a full-blown strike will do the nation's tertiary education sector a world of good.
And when News Round returns, Kyiv Children's Hospital hit by Russian daytime strikes. Details later. Stay with us. Welcome back to watching News Round live on Channels Television. While the Community Court of Justice, ECOWAS, has ruled that the Federal Republic of Nigeria violated the human rights of Obianaju Ude and 2 others. The court found Nigerian breach of Articles 1, 4, 6, 9, 10, and 11 of the African Charter and human and people's rights, specifically on the right to life, security of persons, freedom of expression, assembly and association, prohibition of torture, the duty of the state to investigate, and right to effective remedy. The applicants, Obianaju Ude, Perpetual Kamsi, and Dabira Oluwa Adeyinka, alleged that these violations occurred during the peaceful protests at the Lekki toll gate in Lagos State on October 20th and 21st, 2020. The judge, Rapporteur Justice Kuroma Sengu, who delivered the judgment, dismissed the allegation that the right to life is guaranteed under Article 4 of the ACPHR is violated. He, however, said that the federal government must pay each applicant 2 million naira as compensation for violations of their security of person, prohibition of torture and cruel, inhumane and degrading treatment, rights to freedom of expression, assembly and association, duty to investigate human rights violations, and right to effective remedy. And following a motion of urgent national importance sponsored by 88 members, the House of Representatives is asking the federal government to immediately suspend the implementation of the Samoa Agreement until all controversial clauses are addressed and spelt out. In moving the motion, a member from Kano State under the new Nigeria's People's Party, Mr. Aliyu Madaki, drew attention to the clause that highlights gender equality and describes it as a Trojan horse that could violate the morals of the country.
The order paper is packed full, but the Green Chamber is not, as the Deputy Speaker arrives to preside over the first plenary session of the week. Lawmakers waste no time dealing with matters of urgent national importance, beginning with the disturbing recurring queues at petrol stations in some parts of the country. The House resolves to carry out a forensic investigation into the resurgence of fuel queues, as well as the alleged indiscriminate issuance of licenses for importation of PMS, importation of substandard petroleum products, as well as failure of regulators to do their job. The House then turns its attention to the controversial Samoa Agreement signed by the federal government and the European Union.
That the phrase gender equality, as reported, is a Trojan horse for deceptively bringing in all sorts of immorality to our country, as gender no longer means sexes, male and female, as traditionally understood. It now includes homosexualism, lesbianism, transgenderism, and animalism.
There is nothing like lesbian rights or gay rights. It is about human rights, environmental protection, and trade agreements, period. How on earth? If you have the agreement, bring it out here.
Why are we here talking about LGBT, GTBT, whatever? Let us concentrate on the issues that matter. As far as I'm concerned, Mr. Speaker, our people are not interested in this, so let us step it down, let us close it, let us forget everything about it.
Where the federal government is going into an agreement, by the provisions of Section 12 of the Constitution, the Parliament ought to be carried along.
The resolution to suspend the implementation of the agreement is adopted, and the House mandated relevant committees to liaise with the federal government to resolve all grey areas in the agreement. A bill to improve women participation in politics by altering the constitution to provide for special seats for women draws a robust debate from lawmakers.
Each of these our political parties, some give women their forms for free. Some give the women their form for half the price already. So, Mr. Speaker, if you are saying we should create extra seats again, that is going against the constitution of the Republic of Nigeria that fights for equality.
I do not know of any law of the Federal Republic of Nigeria that stops a woman from contesting election or winning a seat in the House of Representatives.
You are only giving us special seats. We are not taking your seats, the one that you are occupying. After all, that seat, you may not be there one day. It's somebody else that will be there.
I thought my colleague would say, let us extend it, that every deputy governor should be women. I will agree to that, Mr. Speaker. That is what is expected. I cannot stand here and tell you that we should not give women an opportunity to participate in election. Let's give them a better opportunity.
Those in support of this bill say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it.
The debate on the special seats bill is not that different from what transpired in the 9th House of Representatives on the same bill. It was eventually voted against. I guess we'll wait to see how lawmakers in the 10th House will vote. Meanwhile, the House has passed through second reading a bill to ensure that Nigerians outside the country participate in future elections. From the House of Representatives, Terry Ikumi, Channels Television News.
And the Duchess International Hospital has been awarded a private tertiary healthcare facility of the year at the 2024 Nigerian Healthcare Excellence Awards. Announcing the award at a press conference in Lagos, the Chief Executive Officer of the Duchess International Hospital, Dr. Adetokunbo Shitabe, said the award reflects the hospital's unwavering commitment to providing affordable, world-class healthcare in Nigeria.
The chairman of Duchess Hospital and Reddington Hospital Group, Dr. Adeyemi Onobowale, is all smiles as he receives one of the much-coveted awards presented to Duchess Hospital at the Nigerian Healthcare Excellence Awards 2024. The Private Tertiary Healthcare Facility of the Year award means so much to the healthcare provider, who is barely 3 years in operation in Nigeria.
This place was a dusty old room.
In celebrating this feat, the Chief Executive Officer, Adetokunbo Shitabe, recalls a facility built from a humble beginning and grew over time in consistency with professionalism, tenacity, and sincerity of purpose.
The reason we exist is to provide that access to affordable world-class healthcare. As we have said repeatedly, the fastest, most convenient access to the best medical expertise available anywhere in the world.
Dr. Shitabe adds that the award further validates Nigerians' trust in Duchess Hospital.
We know that the fundamental and key issue is trust. Our vision remains to be Africa's favorite hospital, your trusted international healthcare provider of choice. We do not take that trust for granted. The mandate that we feel that we have is to press on, doing the things that we are doing well, doing them better, and aspiring to becoming a quaternary service in the years to come.
The chairman of Duchess Hospital and Reddington Hospital Group offers words of commendation to the management and staff of Duchess Hospital for their dedication to work and commitment to vision.
I'm delighted that Duchess has been able to impact and transform the lives of numerous Nigerians who seek health care. And they've been able to make a difference. Once again, sir, I want to congratulate you and your team. And then I say, well done.
Duchess International Hospital was nominated for the Private Tertiary Healthcare Facility Award category alongside 6 private hospitals across the country. It is the youngest private hospital to win the prestigious prize in 10 years of the Nigeria Healthcare Excellence Awards.
And finally, a news round. At least 40 people have been killed across Ukraine. Russian airstrikes damaged a children's hospital in Kyiv. Russia has denied that it was launching missiles at civilian targets. Its Federation Ministry claims in a statement that the Russian military had only targeted Ukrainian military industrial sites and air bases and blamed the destruction in Kyiv on Ukrainian air defenses. The UN says it is unconscionable for children to be killed in war. It says under international humanitarian law, hospitals have special protection, that civilians must be protected. The children's hospital was hit. The city's mayor, Vitaly Klitschko, says that 2 people were killed, and including one young woman doctor. And that's News Round for the week. Thank you for watching. I'm Ladi Williams. Bye for now.